friend and comrade from the campaign to end the death penalty, wrongfully convicted in the Central Park jogger case in 1989. Please welcome Yusuf Salaam.
Supporters, because I always get the same response, a standing ovation. Peace and blessings. I want to start off with a poem that was given to me while I was in Clinton, Dannemora, 5 miles from Canada, in prison. And the more I read this poem, the more I realize that this poem is fitting Troy Anthony Davis in terms of how he lived his life under the boot of this oppressive system. We are born into the world like a blank canvas, and each person that comes across our path takes up the brush and makes their mark upon the surface. And so it is that we develop. Yet we must realize that there comes a day that we must also pick up the brush and determine and to finish the work. For only we can determine who and what will be. Just another painting or a masterpiece. You know, what we're trying to do, what we're standing for, is about change. We're changing, or we're seeking to change the society, the economics, the politics, everything around us. And as I read in the book, it said it is only right that we be fought by those who oppose change. This is how it has been throughout history. And some of us may lose our lives. But for those who are truly with us, what other choice is there? And it's unfortunate because, you know, a few years ago, I was at a convention with the campaign and the death penalty. And I got a chance to meet Troy's sister. And she said, wait, hold on for 1 second, and pulled out her cell phone, and her phone was ringing. And she answered the phone, and it was her brother on the other line. And she put me on the phone with her brother, and we spoke briefly. And, you know, I kind of thought about the future and discussed with him the possibility of, you know, sitting down and having lunch and just being free, you know. And sadly, that time is not going to come. I'm thinking about the time also just the other day when we were told that Troy said he doesn't want a last meal. This is not going to be his last meal. Whatever concoction they put together to have you eat. And I couldn't help but think, there's pictures that we always see of Jesus and the other prophets at the round table. And in the hip-hop community, we see tables with Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur. And I couldn't help but think that there is a similar table where there is Troy Anthony Davis, Tukey, and countless others being fed from the divine. You know, it's sad because there are people that are doing time for crimes that they didn't commit. I was one of them. There are people being put to death for crimes that they didn't commit. Troy was one of them. There are people being put to death because of the color of their skin. I don't even need to mention the names. You know. But what I want to leave you with is I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because you have to understand, when you're behind the wall, when you're doing time for a crime that you didn't commit, and even if you're doing time for a crime that you committed, it's hard to do that time. I had champions in my life, one of which is here with us today, my mother, Salam. I know my time is coming to a close, but I just want to say thank you, because without you all, most of us would have just fell to the ground with the boot on our necks and stayed there without struggling back. I wrote this in 1994. It's called 1989, The Turning Point. Saying down with the blacks, but uplift the white race. Scottsboro, scapegoats, 6 more kismet. Justice, unjust, black robes and pale face. Raising their banner to the sun in haste. Mob deep, hoods and capes. Sun-dried after being wet. Saying down with the blacks, but uplift the white race. Unjustly tried, an indelible conviction of rape. The usual result of what 6 shades of darker skin get. Justice, unjust, black robes and pale face. Didn't have a chance, 6 youth among apes. Wish I would have known that false smile and understood that subtle sweat. Saying down with the blacks, but uplift the white race. Evil intentions fulfilling their taste. Why me? Us. Losers in this camouflage gauntlet. Justice, unjust, black robes and pale face. Black or shades of brown, we must keep the pace. Under burdens, pains on our back. And stop the mindset of saying down with the blacks, but uplift the white race. Justice, unjust, black robes and pale face. I echo the words of our comrade in Chicago, Alice Kim. She put on Facebook, and it was so wonderful that I had to repost it and put it on Twitter and all nine. And it simply said, in solidarity, in struggle, and in sorrow. I am Troy Davis.